Indonesia, the world's largest archipelago, over 17,000 islands, 700 regional languages spoken. Indonesia is one of the most diverse countries in the world in terms of nature, culture, and history. You could spend a lifetime exploring these islands and you wouldn't see all of it. That sailboat is Lola, a wonderful, homey, 46-foot catamaran. And I'm Michelle Carpenter of Living Blue, marine biologist and sailor. In this episode, I'm sharing moments from our island hopping adventure from Sorong in the north of West Papua to Rote Island in the south. We started our journey in Sorong, which is almost on Earth's equator, in an area known as the Doldrums. This worldwide latitude band between around 5 to 10 degrees north and south latitude is characterized by light, variable winds mixed in with frequent squalls. While sailing southwards to Misool and Raja Ampat, we experienced classic Doldrum sailing. Calm and shifty, which isn't great sailing and required a lot of adjustments and waiting for headwinds on a squall. As we approached Misool, islands started to sprinkle the horizon. I've dreamt of diving this region since I was a teenager. In fact, every marine biologist and diver dreams of visiting here. I used to watch countless videos and photos online, but you don't realize how vast it is. It's a huge maze of islands sprouting up from the ocean, speckled for hundreds of miles, in a Jurassic Park otherworldly seascape. Misool is one of the 4 major islands of the Raja Ampat area. We spent a night at a beautiful anchorage, hiked and kayaked the area. Indonesia is nestled in the Coral Triangle, which is the region of the world with the highest biodiversity of marine species. As a marine biologist, Misool is an inspiration. Misool was once a shark finning fishery. The surge in consumption of shark fin soup in the 1990s was directly linked to the degradation of Misool's coral reefs, since sharks are key species in these ecosystems. This shark finning and destructive fishing were destroying some of the most diverse reefs on Earth. But in 2005, a partnership between local communities and the Misool Resort created the region's first no-take zone. In 2006, construction began on the former shark finning camp and turned it into a conservation center. Since then, the Misool Marine Reserve now encompasses a 1,220 square kilometer area, twice the size of Singapore. Scientific research in this area resulted in inspiring statistics that show when given the chance, the ocean is incredibly resilient. When effectively managed, marine reserves work. Misool Marine Reserve is still vulnerable to illegal fishing, but thankfully is protected by the Misool Ranger Patrol, a salaried team of local rangers, many of which were former shark finners, now patrol the region and enforce regulations 24 hours a day and over 1,000 patrols annually. Diving is well managed by the Misool Resort, who ensure that no dive site is overdived. We dived a few sites and it was mind-blowing. diversity of life and abundance of fish was incredible. We also encountered so many manta rays. As a manta ray specialist, this region is particularly inspiring to me because we are in the Raja Ampat Shark and Manta Sanctuary, which was established in 2010. Like shark fin soup, manta rays are hunted for their gill plates for an Asian medicine. Indonesia used to be one of the largest fisheries of manta rays, but recognizing the value in these animals, Indonesia created a momentous nationwide ban on manta fishing and trading in 2014. In Misool, the subpopulation of reef mantas has doubled over 10 years. This is one of the only places in the world where manta ray numbers are actually increasing. Witnessing this firsthand just shows what decades of research, conservation, management, and monitoring can do for a place. After a magical time in Misool, we said goodbye to this stunning place and headed for the Banda Sea, with a couple days passage ahead of us to Banda Neira. We motored for the first miles, and then we put sails up when encountering headwinds on squalls. For most of the time, the weather was good, but as we approached Banda Neira, we encountered a big squall blowing right on our bow. Banda. What was supposed to be an hour or two more, we ended up fighting upwind for 4 hours. Knackered, we then were mooring and stern tying in the dark at about 11 at night, and 2 of us ended up with sliced fingers. But after a long sleep, we awoke to paradise. On land, we ate delicious Banda Neira cuisine, including lime juice and coconuts, ready to adventure again. With our temporary home being located next to the active volcano Banda Api, the first thing I wanted to do was climb it. We left before sunrise and made it up in about an hour. It was a vertical 2,100-foot climb, first through jungle, then later ferns, and at the top it was covered in hardened volcanic rock. Banda Api last erupted in 1988, and it was cool to see the succession of plants and animals since then. The Banda region is located on the Ring of Fire, a path along the Pacific Ocean on the border of active tectonic plates. Banda Api is constantly smoking, and you can feel the heat radiating from the ground. This was my first time climbing an active volcano. Being there on the top is actually quite spiritual. I could feel the warmth and presence of our very much alive Mother Earth. But with the equatorial sun beating down on us too, the heat was intense. So after some water and biscuits, we meandered back down, which took a lot longer because of how steep Banda Api is. The next morning, we went for a dive, and in the afternoon, I took the dinghy and went snorkeling in search of famous staghorn coral gardens, which are located at the base of Banda Api. So we've got the lava flow here that's come all the way down from the volcano that I climbed yesterday. It's come all the way down there, and you can actually dive on the lava flow. This staghorn coral is among the fastest growing in the world. measured and monitored by the research group Lumino Ocean. When this hardened volcanic rock is broken down and leached into the water, the minerals may serve as a nutrient boost for corals.
It's like being on Mount Doom. Where islands are born.
This might be a contributing factor as to why the coral grows so fast here, and also several colonies actually spawn in both seasons. This high reproductive output at the Banda Islands could be one reason for the high resilience and reef health found here. And the diving here is spectacular. The Banda Sea is one of the last unexplored frontiers for diving in Asia. This area consists of stacks of remote, uninhabited islands and pristine environments. Dazzling reefs, steep walls, drop-offs to hundreds of meters, and prolific marine life are just some of the things we encounter diving here. Our wildlife sightings included the wonderfully weird bumphead parrotfish, a key species for coral reefs. This fish keeps reefs healthy as an important algae and coral grazer. Characterized by a prominent bump on their forehead, the bumphead parrotfish rams into reef to break it down for feeding. In many places, bumphead parrotfish are overfished, having a cascade effect on the rest of the reef ecosystem. When possible, it's good to avoid fishing and eating parrotfish. We also encountered sea snakes, which were mystifying to see. Though some species are highly venomous, they are not aggressive. Sea snakes can remain submerged for 8 hours or more at a time, due to the fact that they can absorb oxygen through their skin. Many sea snake species actually give birth to live young. It is always a treat to encounter sea snakes. The iconic giant trevally, GT, fierce apex predator. They are powerful hunters and they use ambush or shadowing strategies. I love encountering GTs. They have such presence in the water. Many large individuals do carry toxic ciguatera, which causes poisoning in humans, so I would recommend always throwing these guys back in the ocean when caught. We also had some adventurous, chaotic fishing moments where we encountered wahoo, dogtooth tuna, and bull sharks on the drop-offs, but we didn't have a camera during those times. In the Banda Sea, hammerhead shark and whale season starts in September. We cannot wait to do this crossing again later this year. We will be able to see walls of hundreds of hammerheads and the chance to snorkel with sperm whales, melonhead whales, and pygmy blue whales. We island hopped the Banda Arc, anchoring in untouched paradise and feeling like the only people on Earth. And we started to lose track of time. That's when we realized we still had at least 5 days passage to get to Rote Island, our final destination. Reluctant to leave these remote coral reefs, but excited to arrive to some world-class surf at Rote Island, we began our 5-day crossing. Our first few days, we continued to sail Doldrums style and hit some good speeds occasionally, about 5 to 7 knots. Other times we had to motor sail or motor. The days consisted of watch, eating, drinking tea, and resting. Traveling through the Timor Sea, we encountered pilot whales and sperm whales.
That whale, we saw mom and baby, and then another individual tail slapping, and another individual kind of splashing about. So yeah, we just saw sperm whales, and I dropped a pin in the GPS and sent it to my mates at Far Out Research Collective. Shout out, guys.
We experienced a crazy lightning storm. I wasn't able to video it much, but it generally looked like this for a couple of hours. As we progressed south, we began to enter a zone with more frequent steady winds. But as we approached Rote Island, I could see that this place was paradise on earth. We had our best day sailing. We sailed 73 miles in 12 hours. Perfect downwind sailing. Rote Island is absolutely dreamy. Manta rays, epic surf, and beautiful scenery.